Welcome to Land Academy. I'm Jack Butala.
I'm Jill DeWitt.
We show you how to buy real estate for half of what it's worth.
And sell it on the internet really fast.
We are Jack and Jill, and this is the Jack and Jill Show 2. With over 15,000 completed transactions, we're the experts at acquiring property.
Of all kinds, not just land.
For half price and flipping them for way more.
All right, let's get this show started.
Jill DeWitt with Jack Butala here.
Hello.
Welcome to our show. In this episode, Jack and I talk about the worst land deal we have ever done. This is your topic, Jack. I can't wait to hear which one you have isolated as our worst one.
It's not the one where we lost money.
This ought to be good. Cool. All right. First, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. Right now, it's Success Planned, so you can find it at a couple places.
Yeah.
It's free.
Michael says, titled first deal. Should I accept? ? Hey, friends. I have this odd / unique 5-acre property that I bought for $500. Oh, well, it's going to be hard to lose that money on this. I was advertising $3,500 on LandWatch, which was the cheapest, which is what we teach. The neighbor said he would pay $2,500 and wants me to pay half the closing costs with the title company. I think I'm going to accept it. Should I simply say yes? Or should I tell him to give me 24 hours? Perhaps a counteroffer a bit higher. Oh, Jill, this has got your name on it, all over it. If I say yes right away, then he will think he offered too much. I was thinking that I should ask him to pay for all the closing costs with the title company. And maybe we'd have a deal. What would you do? Thanks in advance for your help. And here's his follow-up.
Later on, he added, thanks, guys. So here's an update. As luck would have it, the buyer is a real estate agent.
We're going to list it.
And of course, she will only do the deal her way. On top of that, she indicated that we would do a typical split of the closing fees. Well, typical in her mind is I pay 50% of the escrow fee and 100% of the title fee, as well as 50% of the remaining fees and prorated taxes. I refuse to pay any survey and staking fees.
Good for you.
For the sake of getting the deal done, I agreed to it. My check should be about $1,900. My purchase price was $520 plus $80 for the notary, another $25 for recording. I did not include the website fees, RealQuest fees, and subscriptions. So yes, I will make about 200% profit.
Oh, darn.
But it's not a huge amount. And of course, as soon as I agreed to it, 2 people call me on the property and are very interested.
Darn.
I probably would have canceled the deal.
No.
And hoped that I probably could have canceled the deal and hoped that one of the other callers would have bought it, but the land was unique, and I knew that the neighbor would have the highest interest in the property. So that's why I'm going to go with her. As they say, a bird in the hand is worth 2 in the bush.
Yeah. Keep
winning, amigos. I love it. So it was nice that he kind of followed up. There were more little side conversations in there as people weighed in on, what they would do. But that's always going to happen, Michael.
Yep.
And I love this is your first deal. Got that out of the way.
Michael called me. Michael, I'm proud of you, by the way.
Yeah.
Michael was one of the guys that he called me and said, this is really early on, about 2 months ago. And he said, I sent my first mailer out 2 days ago, and I have not gotten a call back. And I think that this Land Academy business is a pile of malarkey.
I know.
Remember this?
I do.
It's a pile of malarkey, and I'm sick of this. And Michael, I'm proud of you.
Yep.
It takes like a week, 2 weeks when the mailer goes out, and then you end up doing deals. Here's the thing about this whole question. What you have here, and I would remind this real estate agent this 50 times throughout the deal, is a customer for life. Mm-hmm. So you can sell it retail for $5,000 or however you priced it, $3,500 to somebody who's maybe the end user, or you can wholesale it to this real estate agent and sell it 15 more properties. So our rule is double your money and get the experience, and then you can get creative later. But you're doing everything right. I would run with this deal.
But it's great too. Look at all the things he got out of the way. Let's be honest. He factored in every last little expense that he has, and he's still making money.
I know.
And he got all this stuff out of the way.
And he got his first deal done.
People, I tell them all the time that once you get your first deal, your one deal a month pays for all the other stuff that you got going on. Probably paid for your data, paid for your mailer. Let's think about all this. So That was really good.
You could do a deal a day like this really easy.
Right. Now you do 4 more deals a month. All that's gravy.
Exactly.
Everything else is paid for.
Hey, it turns out we think the same.
Thank you. So awesome. If you have a question or you want to be on the show, reach out to either one of us at landinvestors.com. Today's topic, Jack picked this one, the worst land deal we have ever done. This is the meat of the show.
The worst land deal that I have ever done is the one that takes the longest time and strays the furthest from my engraved in stone acquisition criteria. Somebody could call you today and say, and this happens to us all the time, I have a golf course for sale, and you look at the deal in 30 seconds and say, you know what? If everything goes wrong in this deal, I'm going to make $1 million. And you know what you should do? Not do the deal. That's the worst deal I have gotten. I've even had Jill and I have started other businesses that dismally fail. Why? Because we didn't know what the hell we're doing. We weren't into it. I could list them. It's a joke.
What?
And,
I don't think so.
Well, they didn't dismally fail.
All right.
They just didn't perform the way that some of the other stuff. The land-related and real estate-related businesses for us, for some reason,
is what we do best.
really, really, really well.
Yeah.
When we veer into even like other e-commerce businesses and stuff, they just don't. They do not perform.
We never
the way.
really failed. I don't think. I think but we lost interest or something.
Failing is that's what it's exactly what I was just going to finish with.
Well,
we're just not truly. It's not in our heart.
And the last big one that was really pretty fun. We just didn't want to dump that much money. And we got to that point. You get to that point where you're like, go big or go home.
Yeah.
And we looked at it going, do we really want to put that much money into this?
Right.
For this return?
You only can work 18 hours a day.
Right.
That's about it.
We had a pretty good team and separate stuff. Buildings. Remember that? That was like you were manufacturing stuff too.
Right.
That was a lot of work.
I used to have a dream, and now I don't anymore because I got it out of the system.
Is that what that was?
I always wanted to manufacture what I sold. It was some kind of silly thing I had, so I can completely control it.
I want a pony farm. Can we do that? I got to get that out of my system.
Some people want to play 36 holes of golf every day. It'd be cheaper than that business.
I'm going to come up with this. You know what? I want to rent surfboards. Can we get that out of our system? I want to surf.
I will start a surfboard rental business for you.
Okay.
I love the rental business, like U-Haul. Man, I sold a car for Jill a long time ago to an accountant for U-Haul.
Oh, that was hilarious.
When we closed the deal on that car, it was in the conference room of our office at the time. I'll never forget it.
Mm-hmm.
I sat there and talked to that guy for an hour because renting equipment, Jill and I have a really close friend who lives in Iowa. He's a snowbird, goes back and forth, and he owns like 4 cranes. He owns a whole construction company, and he also owns 4 cranes, and he rents them out when they're not using them. And he's like, "This is the greatest business I've ever had." Equipment rental. So with surfboards, hell yes, Jill, I'm in.
Okay. Thank you.
Rent the surfboard for $10 an hour and come back and hose it off, and you're done.
Exactly.
And you make like $35 for just sitting there.
I'm trying to think of a really, really bad deal right now. I know one. Well, no, I don't know if it was a bad deal, but the one that I had negotiated the great deal, and then it was a bad deal in the end. It wasn't. We never lost money, but we both got involved in it. And then it made the deal go worse because then the guy didn't know who to talk to.
She negotiated the deal with the guy. We didn't communicate about it. This is a long time ago.
Mm-hmm.
Guy calls me, and I renegotiated. It's like he didn't get the answer he wanted out of Mom, so he asked Dad.
Exactly.
And Dad said yes.
Called Dad separately, and then Dad said, "Oh, here's what I did," and I'm like, "What the heck are you talking about?" So yeah.
The exact same thing has happened with our kids. I mean, verbatim.
Yeah,
they're smart.
True.
The kids So that was the day that I stopped talking to customers.
Yeah.
On the buy side or the sell side.
I'm trying to think of some numbers because it's fun to talk numbers. But
I remember every deal. So it was 45 acres in southeastern Valencia County in New Mexico, and it was in a pre-developed mini ranch scenario. So there's drive-up access. It was a smoking deal. Mm-hmm. We purchased the property Jill negotiated the deal for $2,500 for 45. It was 45 acres. Mm-hmm. And the guy called me, and I think he didn't even call me to renegotiate the deal. We were just talking about stuff. Mm-hmm. And I agreed to $4,500. And we sold it for 12. Actually, we sold it for 12. I think 18,000 cash to an IT guy out of Albuquerque. And that guy had some, I remember this because that guy gave you a hard time.
I do remember that guy.
And I called that guy and said, listen.
I was blocking him on my phone. That man was crazy.
I can't actually sit. That's a rated R+ conversation we had. Mm-hmm. I said, if you have a ghost of a chance of doing this deal, and you call her again and speak to her that way, it's not going to happen. And he stood right up and said, okay, you're right. I'm sorry.
That was funny. And then you finished that deal.
Right.
Like, I am out. That guy's crazy.
I've had to do that maybe 4 times since we've been doing this together, and it just boils my blood. Mm-hmm. Anyway, that wasn't the worst deal we ever did.
No.
The worst deal, I mean, I bought a cemetery on accident. It was a big list of APNs that I purchased, and then it took me a month to donate that because it was so far from our acquisition criteria and divestiture criteria. If there's some people in our group, I'm not going to mention their names, Kathleen, who spend too much time reviewing this stuff. And it's too much time. You will never scale this thing up to making $100,000 a month.
Probably the hardest.
Yeah.
Remember I had one where I was working with a church and I didn't act fast enough and I lost the deal. And it was kind of a bummer because it would have been a good property. But you know what? You don't get hung up on them. But that was one that went wrong because it was negotiation. And then in that time, somebody else came along and offered him like $500 more.
Here's the takeaway.
And it was just like, pushed me out, which was fine.
Here's the takeaway from this show. I don't think I've said this yet. Time kills deals.
Yeah.
On both sides. Mm-hmm. Jill and I are about to sign the deal on a trailer /RV park in southern Arizona, and that we're buying. We're doing it with a member, of Land Academy member. And here's the thing: it's 190 units ish or something like that. I can't remember. And the member brought it to us and said, you take some and I'll take some, and we said great, and we agreed on how we're going to sell it. Here's what I love about this deal: we have to write the descriptions one time. It's like writing a book and selling it 190 times. You write it once. So, what a massive time saver. Plus, word gets around. And then investors show up, they start flocking like birds, in a garbage can. Because word gets out that we're only selling them for $1,000 or $1,500 or whatever it is. And then they
can make more money than us.
They're going to, and so those properties,
sell it on terms, whatever they
we've
want
already
to
had
do.
an offer for 8 times what we're going to pay, which I'm probably going to accept. So, we're going to make a couple $100,000, the member and us combined, and probably within 30 days. So we have the experience, fortunately, to pick and choose which one of these deals is the best, but little one-off, weird, strange deals that take a lot of your time, take your time away from what you should be spending your time on is learning how to manipulate assessor data, not like looking at real estate deals, I think.
Exactly. Well done.
Honest to God, I'm trying to think, Jill. I know for sure that you and I, for sure, since we've been doing this like 8 or 9 years, I think, 8 years together, have never lost a dollar on a property. I know that for sure.
You think so? Even back, no, because we always had way back when we had doc prep fees that saved us sometimes when there was a little bit of I don't do those anymore. I think some of our members still charge like a doc prep fee. So here's a little secret, by the way. If you got a property that you bought really cheap, like really cheap,
like $11.
Well, not that cheap, but you know what I mean. Say you spent $50 on a property or something, and it's a real small something in a whatever, and you're just trying to offload it and get some cash, and you throw it on eBay or something because that's the best way to get cash quick. And you have to always plan for, of 3 properties, 1 or 2, the buyers will fall out, so it might take a little time to get it done. But so if you have a bunch in there, it's okay. But anyway, if you charge a doc prep fee, which we used to do, and you could do $299 or $399, whatever you want to do. So if your winning bid is, $90 and you paid $50 for it, and you're already in with your eBay fees and all that good stuff, you have a $299 prep fee, so you still make some money.
Yep.
And they know that. So and everybody bids accordingly.
Yep.
So just make it real clear. But that's a good little tip, so you can make sure that you get. So that's one of the things that saved us years ago.
Yeah.
When we had
during a huge downturn,
tons of property, especially in one area, and we didn't spend a whole lot, and we, it was going. they weren't selling for a whole lot, but we were still at least making some money.
Right.
So that was really good. So cool. Join us in another episode where Jack and Jill discuss how to use information that's
Jill.
Me. Information that's
that's
you.
me.
And inspiration that's me. To get just about anything you want.
We use it every day to buy property for half of what it's worth and sell it immediately.
You are not alone in your real estate ambition. I like being in charge.
Yeah, I'm super clear on that.
I like being the leader.
Jill and I are on the road, and the script is in black and white instead of color. And I can't make sense of it.
Oh. Is that your excuse?
Yeah.
All right, we'll go with that.
Information and inspiration to buy undervalued property.
We are Jack and Jill, and
this was the Cash Flow from Land Show. We are the experts at acquiring property
Of all kinds, not just land.
for half price just so we can flip it for way more.
And really fast. Thanks for listening.
You are not alone in your real estate ambition.